That is me, Danny Bonaduce, life coach. If you haven't called yet and you want to, 1-800-252-1025. I'm going to take your calls. I'm also going to answer your emails at lifecoach@KZOK.com. Get those on in there. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let us talk to Sam. Sam at Joint Base Lewis McCord. How are you, buddy?
Morning, Sunshine.
Morning, Sunshine. What's going on in your life?
So, I'm having an issue with my finance.
Right.
My wife is the banker. She's got a degree in some sort of applied science, and she, went through statistics and calculus. And I'm not going to lie, I suck at math.
Right. But you know what? My wife's degree is not in math, but she's the banker. I think that's kind of standard, really, that the wife ends up handling the money. Right.
Well, it's gotten. My biggest issue is that my wife is starting to open lines of credit in my name, and she justifies it by basically robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right. So your wife is a one-person Ponzi scheme.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And I'm having a hard time just trying to keep her focused on trying to get out of debt, trying to save money, trying to do what's right. And I'm not familiar with all the actual bills and everything. I can follow most of it by watching how the money leaves.
Right.
But my biggest question is, at this point, should I go ahead and take over the reins of the bills?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, Sam. Not necessarily at all. Let's deal with one bad thing happening at a time before we create another one. If you're even thinking about taking over the finance, which is fine if you want to, are you qualified? Can you take over? Is this a 2-income family?
Yes.
Do you want to follow all the bills and follow all the income and follow all the outcome? Are you qualified? And how much of an impact on your life is that going to have? Is this something you really want to get involved with? And if you do, are you qualified to do it?
In all reality, no.
Good for you, man. You're probably not. Good for you knowing that. Now, here's what we do. So your wife is spending more than you're comfortable with. Is she spending any more than she's comfortable with?
Well,
you see, she's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Is she upset that she has to rob Peter?
Not really. When it comes to making small purchases around the house and everything, it's all she seems to be able to find a way to justify it. It's just, I feel uncomfortable with having 8 or 9 credit cards that are open.
It's the road to hell, man. You're exactly right to be concerned about that. What's this chick's name? Susie Orman would be going out of her mind right now. I'm a big fan of that show and watching that lady. And sometimes she screams and sometimes she's shrill, but she's often right. You want to get out of. Here's what you want to do. So what is your actual question for me? Because now I'm all geared up.
Now that you're all geared up, I'm just trying to get the guidance whether or not I should go ahead and remove my wife from the billing situation so I can try to get the finances back under control.
What's going to be the repercussions if you do that? Is she going to go crazy?
Other than just marital unhappiness and probably sleeping on the couch for a week or so.
Well, that's worth a lot, Sam. You don't want to do that. Here's what I recommend. Because you don't have to fix this today. You just have to fix this. So with your wife, kind of like a side hobby, set up a family budget. What's coming in, what's going out. And right then and there, here's what should happen for a normal, healthy relationship. You should see that what's coming is dangerously inadequate for what is going out. And that's why you have all these crazy credit card bills and lines of credit. You're so right about that. That is a disaster, man. And the number one reason do you know why couples get divorced, Sam? Finances. Very good. You're so smart, this kid. Number one reason couples divorce is money. And she is so headed down that road with 8 or 9. If you have 3, that's too many. It's too many. And it's going to lead to pressure of people trying to get that money back. You want out of this. So, part 1, do a budget with your wife. Make it a friendly thing. Have a cocktail. Don't have 3 cocktails. Have a cocktail. Why are you doing it? Income is this. Outcome goes this. Hey, why do we have all those foliage outside that you paid for? Well, I think it looks nice, honey. Yeah, it does. But we have to pay for this. So do that and try and cut back. And if you can't, and this is going to be an issue with the couch sleeping and things like that, once you do a budget and you put in your sweat equity on figuring out what's going on in your life financially, if she has to go, oh my God, Sam, you are so right, sweetheart. I didn't see how much I was spending on frivolous things. I need to cut back. I will. Here's where you go. And maybe both prepaid credit card, man. Absolutely. This is why they make them. Now, she made me really mad, but maybe it's something you would have volunteered to do with her, because you really called me and I'm really answering it. This is her bad. She's the one that has to get to suffer over this, but you don't want to sleep on the couch. You're going to have to volunteer to do the prepaid credit card too. You'll have to get up for the bills, things like that. So you're offering to take the blunt with her, but she needs to see what's going on. And the answer is doing a budget. And then if that doesn't open her eyes, and it probably won't, prepaid credit card is absolutely the answer. Thanks so much, Sam. I appreciate the phone call, and good luck on this.
800-252-1025. If you've got a question for the life coach of any kind, now would be the time to call. 800-252-1025. And believe me, any kind of problem, he can help you.
Yep.
Just make the call. Dave in Seattle, you're on with Danny.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, good morning, Sunshine.
Good morning, Sunshine. What's up, Dave?
Hey, man, so I'm just having a hard time staying upbeat. I'm putting in a ton of hours at work, and it's just hard, man. It's hard to stay positive and stay upbeat, and I wonder if you just had any generic advice on how to stay upbeat and positive and not get down, man.
Yeah, I do, actually. The one thing, and this is going to sound so dumb, and if you're not open to it, it's going to sound dumb after you do it. There's a book for sale at every bookstore. It's called A Book of Daily Affirmations. You've probably seen that, haven't you, Sarah? You never seen the Book of Daily?
I don't know it, no.
It's essentially, this is the joke version, because they're really, really good. But you'd open it up and it'd give today's date, and it'd say, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and people like you. Like that guy Stuart Smalley used to say on Saturday Night Live. But they're really good. So you open up, and that's the way you start your day, Dave, every single day with these affirmations that are for sale in a bookstore. And there's a bunch of them. There's also a calendar because here's what I got. You got a job. You're going to your job. You're not feeling fulfilled in your lifestyle. Well, you got a job, and you're beating most people. So there's also a calendar you can get because you just have to, I do this all the time. This is a great job. And I will be unhappy over the drop of a hat if I feel that my feelings have been hurt. There's a million reasons I will think things are bad when they are not. And recently I've stepped back and I went, are you kidding? Are you kidding? You're a disc jockey in Seattle, man. Your life rocks. So that's the first thing. So you got to do a little mathematics there and find out how great your life actually is. And we'll start from, and we can't end here because that's not that great, the food on your table, the shoes on your feet, the car in your driveway, the house in your driveway. You start to get those. And then I really do recommend these daily affirmations. It's a reminder of how great we actually have it, and we do. You're calling from Seattle, one of the richest cities in America, one of the healthiest cities in America, one of the smartest cities in America. I'll bet your problems aren't that great, but when they're happening to you, they're happening to you. So that's my recommendation, and then realize how wonderful it is to be you. And I don't want to be all stupid and break it down. I'm good enough and I'm smart enough. Saturday Night Live skit. But how many people would just cut off their right leg to be Dave, to have a job in the great city of Seattle? Things are not going that bad for you, my friend. So just remember every day who you are, what you've done, what you've accomplished. You have a brother and a sister, mother and father who like you, all the things. Make a list of why it's great to be Dave in Seattle, starting with the word Seattle. And I think you'll realize, well, I'm happy, and I thought it takes a little work sometimes to be happy. Do the effort and be happy because you deserve it. Thanks, Dave.
800-252-1025. If you've got a question for the life coach, that's the number you need to call. 800-252-1025. You can also email lifecoach@KZOK.com. And remember, if you need to change your name, you can. Craig in Seattle sent an email.
All right.
I married my high school sweetheart. We divorced 5 years ago.
Of course you did. You married your high school sweetheart. That's why.
But I still have feelings for her. When we separated, my best friend moved right in and started sleeping with her.
What an ass! Huge foul.
Wow.
I would like to have her back, but I don't want my best friend back. What should I do?
Well, first of all, we're not in charge whether you get her back or not. I would start, you didn't say she did anything wrong or anything like that. You want her back because you probably still love her and things like that. But let's take the cards the way they appear, and they appear that you suck at choosing acquaintances. I don't like your ex-wife. There's a bunch of guys out there. She could have picked anybody but your best friend. On the other hand, I don't like your best friend. He could have picked anybody but your ex-wife. If she was that great, you'd have kept her. These people are in a lot of trouble. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to open your mind to not getting her back and not being... You want to stay mad? Stay mad. I do that all the time, or did. You want to think, I can't believe what they betrayed me? Well, they did. That's the way the cookie crumbles, man. But wanting this lady back, you divorced her once already. You saw the light, man. You said, I don't want to be around this chick anymore. So you were done with her. And now your best friend shows his real colors. You're lucky. Your life does not have that guy in it. It's a big mistake. I'm sorry. I usually answer the question given to me. I just go to it, but I'm not. I'm not going to tell you how to get her back. She should be gone. It's the best things for you. She should be gone. You did the right thing by signing the divorce creed code, and that guy's a huge mistake, and you have said clearly you don't want him back anymore. Live life without these two.
This is Danny Bonaduce, life coach, and the next caller is Allison in Black Diamond.
Hey, Allison.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing great. What's up with you?
Good. Say, I have a son who's a heroin addict,
Right.
and it's been going on since he was 17 years old. Put him through rehab twice. He made it almost 2 years. Is sober after he got out of rehab.
No,
for the
it's a
second
bitch
time.
that great. I didn't realize how good this guy was. Philip Seymour Hoffman had 20 years. It's I don't like the it's a disease part, but they say it is. Okay, good for me. It's whatever it is. It's notoriously mean, man. After 20 years in submission, boom, we're going to start again. The next thing, in this guy's case, it's going to kill him. And since that's gotten all the press and your son's doing the same thing, you must wonder about whether he's going to live or die every day.
I do, because his father died that way.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
his father died when he was 10 years old that way, and he's pretty much picked it up from there. And he's back at the house. He lost his job again.
Of course
he has no
did.
income. He's stolen for a long time, and he lived in his car for a couple years. And being a mother, I just can't
No.
put myself through that again. And
Yeah, and
I
don't know that he's not getting heroin anymore and living in his car than living with you. I mean, who are you punishing there by not bringing this kid home? But you don't feed this kid any money, do you?
No, not any longer. Nope, I enabled him for a long time, but I refuse to now. But the problem is that he'll steal for money. He's, stolen a lot of things and went to pawn shops just for money, and it's just really hard to, see if there's any hope for this kid.
Has he been to jail yet?
He went for 2 days, and that was about it. It made an impact on him at the time, but it doesn't seem to bother him right now. I think that when they're on drugs like that,
Does he
there's
have?
really nothing that matters to them other than getting their next fix.
All right. So your question to me is, how do I help him? And I'll do what I can for you. Does he have a medical doctor and a psychiatrist, or the same guy?
No, he doesn't have any insurance or anything.
Okay, you need to, and this will not be that expensive. It's going to cost you the visit to the doctor. He may want to see him twice on this, but you got to be up front right away with the doctor about, hey, you can't afford this. You also can't afford to watch your son wither away. I need Suboxone. Suboxone is a wonderful pill, especially if he's back in your house. I hate to admit this, but I'm just lazy. This is how I take my pills in my home. There's nothing, it's just the normal medicine, but it's kind of a game. My wife puts them in my mouth. Well, your son's probably not going to tolerate that, but if he wants to live in your house, if you get the Suboxone, and that's what I want you to do right after this phone call. I want you to call your family doctor and get Suboxone. It's no big deal. It's is it a morphine blocker, Will, or what's it called?
It's an opiate blocker.
An opiate, thank you. An opiate blocker, so heroin will have no upside anymore. There's no reason to do it. And there's newer stuff, too. There may be a pill that's better out there, but get him on Suboxone or its new equivalent of that, and put him the pills in his mouth every day. He's a heroin addict. I got to tell you this. I don't know how everybody can do this, but if you just set the pills down on the table, when he reaches down to get them, he'll have switched them already. I know it's condescending and stuff. You're going to put the pills right in his mouth, and he's going to take his Suboxone for the next year straight. And about 3 months from now, he'll start to straighten up and maybe get a job. And the second you see that something's getting better, don't care. Ride him. I want a year of clean before, you know what? I mean, your husband passed away of this. He could do it too, and you deserve better than that. Call his doctor, get Suboxone, and thank you very much for
And
the
the
phone call.
Suboxone's nice too because you can get it as a strip, and it's kind of those breath strips.
Oh yeah,
it's
I do
kind
know.
of like that. So you can't.
Those are the only kind I've seen actually.
Tuck it away in your mouth and not it dissolves in your mouth whether you want it to.
Yeah,
or
you
not.
got to teach.
So.
You don't got to, depending on the deal you have. This is the deal I have, and not even with this wife. My ex-wife, when I was totally using crazy, didn't want to do it. I wanted somebody to put the pills in my mouth. I didn't want the mayhem that came with using drugs and alcohol anymore. So if the kid says I deserve better, he doesn't, and you certainly do.
We've got time for another caller on Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Here's Bruce and Graham.
Bruce!
What's going on, Danny? And,
What's up, buddy?
you guys, I love the show.
Thank you.
So here's my thing, man. I met this girl on a strictly platonic kind of thing. We've been hanging out for about a month.
How old are you?
And I'm 29.
Okay.
And you know, I kind of have feelings for her more than just platonic.
Right.
And she calls me and she kind of tells me about her, you know, she's partying and stuff. And that's cool. You know, I mean, I don't really have any right to, you know, say, you know, anything about it. So I'm kind of like, well, should I just go ahead and party and keep doing my thing, you know? Or, you know, do I tell her how I feel, but I don't want to, like, get all serious because, you know, we're just friends.
Well, then say it like that, man. And just say, hey, I mean, if you stop the conversation and you stop the laughter to look into her eyes and say, you know, I have feelings for you. Well, then it's going to be that from then on. But if you say it in a nice, happy way, that, you know, and I don't want to dictate the way that you say this, but you almost, in my opinion, when you're done saying that you have feelings for her, you kind of want her to go, excuse me? Because there's something else going on. You don't want it to be the do-all, end-all. Because I get your point, Bruce. It sounds heavy, and you don't want that. So just tell her, you know what? I've really started to get to like you. Boom. She can go in her head. I wonder what he meant by that. Does he mean more than... Let her have this problem that you're having right now. But here's a quick answer. You have feelings for a girl. Should you tell her? Absolutely yes. Even if it works out badly for you, it's not going to end. The longer you take, the worse it's going to be. Absolutely tell her you have feelings and see what happens. Don't live a life like this. You know, she deserves to know. She seems like a nice kid from what I've gotten to know about her. Thanks, Bruce. I appreciate the phone call. That was Danny Bonaduce, life coach. That's all the time we have right now. Life coach brought to you by our friends at Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.